This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
One of the most powerful cars of its generation. Another, a car that redefined GTO racing in the late 80s. Throw them together at one of the tightest racetracks in the world, and we're going to see how they're going to mix up today. We're headed at Mount Panorama, right here on the Global Sim Racing channel via the iRacing Esports Network. Hello everyone, and welcome to another GSRC and IESM broadcast. Adam Young here with you today. Alongside me, I've got Stefan Schlacker in the booth, Sean Crackers Ambrose, and of course cameras set up by Dougie Beard. So Stefan, we come to the Lounge Down Under here today. Last time out, Ardo Imaki really had to work for that win in GTP over Justin Albrecht, and that was at the wide and open twin ring Motegi. Today, these guys will have to deal with 40 minutes of intense multi-class action on one of the most intense racetracks in the world. Tell us a little bit about Mount Panorama.
Well, opened on the 17th of April in 1938, Mount Panorama Circuit is located in Bathurst, New South Wales. A quick look at the map tells us that this track is split in two halves. One that pushes you to your limits and sometimes above, and the second half lets you think about what you did wrong up and down the mountain. 4 miles in length, there are a total of 23 turns and a whopping 174 meters height difference between the highest and the lowest point. Racing at Bathurst is always highly enjoyable. But to give you a good view of how enjoyable and punishing this track really is, let us take you on board of our GSRC lap guide.
Alright, we've got Kiradine Dwafia and the GSRC Audi, so let's do a lap around Bathurst. Coming down to Hell Corner, drivers are going to really be focusing on their exit. It looks like a simple 90-degree left-hander on the surface, but because you're coming onto the mountain straight, it makes it one of the most important corners on the track. Plus, these Audis cut a big hole in the air, so it won't take much for your opponent to catch your slipstream and make an attack. As long as they get close enough, they'll get a good chance into Griffin's Bend. But this uphill right-hander tends to cause atrocious understeer, and you'll often see drivers lifting late in the corner when they realize they've got it wrong. From there, you've got to switch sides to set up for the cutting. The blind entry because of the wall and the little kink makes balancing the car under braking a precarious effort. Once it starts to steeply climb, you'll need to get on the power as early as you can without losing grip. You're now into Reed Park, and you need a big lift to make it through the last right-left up at the top. Finally, now that you're coming to the highest part of the circuit, you'll have a trio of quick left-handers in Frog Hollow, Solomon Park, and McPhillamy Park. Every one of them will test your accuracy and bravery, culminating with the nasty curb outside of McPhillamy, which has punished many a greedy driver. After that, you fly over the crest of Skyline and begin weaving back and forth. You'll be slowing the car the entire time, and eventually you're forced to thread the needle at the dipper. Watch out for track blockages here with how easy it is to get any part of this sequence of S's wrong. As you continue to snake back and forth, it's best to hold the right on the approach to Forest Elbow. There's a sharp drop, and then try your best not to clout the outside wall. At the same time, don't wait too long to get on the power, because now that you're speeding down the Conrad Straight, you're stuck with whatever momentum the car's got. Once again, draft battles are likely to take place if anyone is able to stay tucked under the gearbox of their opponent. But if they find themselves still side by side once they hit the chase, it's going to be extra hairy. There might not be enough room for both cars to stay flat out in the kink, and it eventually becomes a game of chicken with the braking for the left-hander. It's not uncommon to see drivers outbrake themselves and skitter into the gravel because of the difficulty in slowing the car down. Now you've only got Murray's Corner left to deal with, and just like the first turn, it only looks deceptively easy. The very tall curb to the inside really punishes anyone getting too greedy. If you survived all of that, you've now finished a lap around Bathurst.
Alright, there you can see how punishing this track really is in our Audi 90 Quattro there around beautiful Mount Panorama. But let's take a break here from the beautiful views here and take our attention to the GTP standings. As we can see here, Artur Iamaki in first, 125 points, beginning his lead over Fabian Gerber, the Swissman, 20 points behind. Justin Albrecht, he is getting ever so closer to that second place of Fabian Gerber, 25 points behind, just a mere 5 points between them. Antti Lepistö, he is already 47 points behind, gaining one position, same as John Keefe here, first time in the top 5, 55 points behind in his SimSport News Nissan. But going over to the GTP standings, we have one big dominator this season, Martin Krejcik, with his third place finish at Twin Ring Motegi, really giving himself a big gap there between himself and his teammate Bronislav Robenek, 28 points behind them. Robenek gaining one position over Carlos Fonseca, the American, 42 points already behind. Johnny Bell, 47 points, and Radek Sikora, he's already 62 points behind. And as you can see, it's 3 Czechmans in that top 5, so really dominant performance by the Czechs. But Adam, how does it look down there in the GTOs?
Yeah, these Audis, I'm going to tell you what, both of these point standings are going to show you these are some tight point races at this point in the season. First up, the kind of pro category GTOs, Riley Thompson, who, by the way, had to use a drop week last week. He was not there at Twin Ring Motegi for Total Downforce Racing. 105 points, and that's going to put him tied right now with Milan Arnozzi. And then right behind him, I mean, only just literally right behind them is going to be Phil Lake, then Dennis Neidhart and Nicholas McConas, who is still within shooting distance here of that points lead. So very tight race right now in those GTO standings. And kind of the gentleman's category for GTU, Heidi Covisto up there. He's only got 7 points on top of Adam Lundgren right now. Another Total Downforce Racing machine, and another tight point battle with the top 3 right now with Methal Jetty not far behind these guys either. So very tight race there in the top 3 of the point standings as well. And we don't have too much longer left in this season. It's going away faster, I think a lot of people are realizing, considering the fact today's already round 8. And speaking of that, now let's go to the race details graphic. It is round 8 of 12 here in the Kamel GT series. You do get 2 drop weeks. That's important to note, especially with point races this tight. We're going to be running for 40 minutes here for today. Setups, of course, are open in this series, and no stops for fuel here today with a 40-minute race at Bathurst. But Stefan, look at the how you break down the points here and the scoring. And you can see you really got to count for every position out there in the series with the point standings as tight as they are.
Yeah, you really have to fight for your positions because these points are so crucial, especially at the end, and especially as we saw in that GTO and GTU standings, because they're so tight up at the top there.
Well, let's go ahead and swing on over real quick. Fabian Gerber here is sitting on the provisional pole. He's getting ready to finish another lap. Just got done running through the chase. Heading up here to the last corner on this racetrack. A very tight left-hander. And see if he's going to be able to improve upon his time at all. And no, a touch slower by about 2/10 there. Of course, qualifying is underway here at Mount Panorama. And seeing some pretty good times. Stefan, I mean, these cars, they're really fast. I mean, you're talking about, let's talk about GT3s. I mean, we've got the 12 hours of Bathurst coming up next weekend for iRacing. And those cars, I mean, I've been seeing, anywhere between 201s to about 205s. And you got these guys that are running. Fabian Gerber set down a time of 1:49. 5:66. OV Trengerade, or excuse me, actually, Villaruola just took over the provisional pole of the GTOs in the Audis, and that was a 2:02. So very fast cars here on this very tight track.
Yeah, the Audi itself isn't the fastest car in a straight line, but because of that water power, it just flies up and down the mountain. The Nissan, it really has that top speed. But if there is something a little bit faster, like Reed Park, like Philamy Park, those kind of stuff, those turns, it just sticks to the ground and really can power through. I've never had such an experience like the Nissan here. The F1 cars get quite close, but nothing beats my experience in the Nissan here at Bathurst, because it just sticks to the ground and just wants to go.
And you know, that's one thing too. Of course, qualifying still wrapping up here. We just got about 30 seconds before these guys start to grid, and we will have a pace lap, or at least half a pace lap. Be totally honest, I forget how they do it at Bathurst, whether it's halfway down the track or not. But we'll see here in just a few minutes. But one thing I want to point out here, while watching Ove Trengerud here, seeing if he is on his second lap or if he's just turning laps for practice.
No, he's on his second lap.
He is on his second lap here, coming down toward the chase. This is so fast, and if something goes wrong, I mean, you're going to be in a world of hurt. But okay, so he's not able to complete that lap in time. Okay, I'll talk about what I was going to talk about here in a minute, but let's go ahead and look at the grid. And on the pole here for today in the Nissans, you've got Fabian Gerber with that time we talked about, a 49.566. Alongside him would be Arto Ilmaki.
Tapani Lenaluoto is going to line up in second row alongside Jone Kaitanen.
Timu Toika is going to make up row 3 along with Mark Krejcik.
Mark Schmieding in 7th place, alongside him the number 80 machine of Fabian Jungwirth.
In 9th position, making up row 5 is going to be John Keefe. Alongside him will be Stefan Warkop.
Row 6, Aitor Sintes Galindo and Bronislav Robenek.
And then you got Carlos Fonseca and James King. And to round out the Nissans, you've got Robert Plumley.
Villarola has taken the pole in GTO. Alongside him is Ove Trengerud.
We got Yoni Hagner and then Rob Olenek.
Grady Thompson, only 5th place in your GTO. Alongside him, Milan Arnosi.
Yeah, be looking for him to be pretty strong out there. You got Inu Gian and then Nicholas McComas.
Ben Laughter making a comeback in the GTOs. Alongside him, the German Dennis Neidhardt.
And then we got Gregory Augustini and then Adam Lundgren.
Reed Miller lining up in 31st overall. Alongside him will be Franco Stewart.
And you do see a GTO mixed in there. That would be Phil Barnes. And then we've got Hideki Koivisto and then Kevin Link.
Sergey Serbin and Jose Wilcox are 35th and 36th overall.
Hey, I got my Ride Shotgun Motorsports teammate running here today. That's going to be Bryce Roberts. Alongside him is going to be Javier Logno.
Michael Haynes, the last car to qualify a lap in 39th overall in his number 40 machine. Then alongside him will be Chai Wong Yang.
And of course, another couple of Nissan mixed in there. That's going to be Lucas Cruz and then Clayton McLeod. And the field is rolling here at Bathurst. And of course, they'll be coming down through the chase. And one thing I want to point out, and I wanted to get to this in pre-race, we'll do it real quick. If we could throw up the track graphic real quick before we go green, I want to point out that even though it looks like this thing is squared off, it is not. It's 23 turns of madness that these guys have to go around here for today. And those 23 turns are hidden in there because it's so tight. We're going back to green. The pace car is pulled off the track. Fabian Gerber getting ready to take that tight left-hander. Get the green flag. Green flag's in sight. He is on the hammer. We are away here at Mount Panorama for 40 minutes of Bathurst racing. Fabian Gerber able to control turn 1. Tahani Lenaluoto almost thought he might have a shot at the lead there right off the bat. Thinks better of it, gets off the gas before contact is made in turn 1, but he does lose a lot of time and held up Arto Iamaki and Timu Toika in the process. They're heading down the long straight.
In GTO, we already see Villarola and the top 5 being strung out already. Villarola with a great start, anticipating that green flag, and he went off at about 3 cars length between him and Joni Hagner going into turn 1, but Joni Hagner with that left closing on in on Villarola.
And so far, looking through the field, I think, I can't believe it, but I think everybody has made it through here. in the initial stages of this race. Fabian Gerber fully in control still of the Nissans up front, as for the first time they are heading down the hill through the Dipper, heading toward Forest Elbow here in just a minute. This is one of the most dangerous sections on this race. You can see it's a lot of right, left, and then of course eventually you end up back on the Conrad Straight, which is where we see them heading to now.
Conrad Straight, obviously named after the Conrad, after one Conrad Blue on a certain V12 that was leading the race back then. But GTOs, they're already in Forest Elbows, are now powering out of it and down into Conrad Straight. Villarola still first, and the top three are starting to separate from Rob Olnichuk and Riley Thompson.
Oh, and I think we've got our first instant. Yeah, we almost had an Audi end up on its roof there, right near, it looks like Skyline. So I think we're going to have our first casualties here today.
Yeah, seems like our director can't find it. I, to be honest, also can't find it. So Adam there.
Yeah, it ended up being toward the back. Jose Wilcox, and I think Jose Wilcox has decided to take the tow, so he's probably gonna be done here for today. We do got a car smoking out there as well. But anyway, at least the rest of the field here so far running very cleanly. Looking once again at those GTOs. Got Nicholas McConis out there. Nicholas McConis, of course, a series regular. You see him all the time here on Kamel GT broadcast on GSRC. And so far, holding his own, wanting to get that top 10 here today, Stefan. Hey, actually, real quick, let's go up to Toika and Kajin. Battle right now for 4th position in the Nissans. And heading down through the S's into the Dipper. And Toika able to start stretching that out just a touch here, but they're heading down to Forest Elbow. And Stefan, you see it in real world, you see it here in iRacing too. The Conrad Straight, great place for drafting. We'll see if he's able to, we'll see if Kajin's able to get back to Toika here before they head to the chase.
Yes, there's just one big problem. These cars are so drag efficient that the draft actually isn't even that big in the GTPs. But
here
in front of them.
And Maki and Linodotto got a little close there for just a second. But, you know, I think a bigger story is even though they're running close and Linodotto, of course, just giving up the position at Maki, it seems like to me, at least it looks like they're gaining on Fabian Gerber ever so slowly. But that lead, Fabian's been able to stretch that now to over 2 seconds.
Yeah, Gerber really shows that he wants it to win. Once again, get back up there in the championship fight, but Joni Hagner and Billy Roller, they're still going at it. They're starting to slightly separate from Ovid Trengerate there as he made a tiny bit mistake through the chase, but he is still there with them. Yeah,
and of course these cars not quite as drag efficient as what those Nissans are, so they do punch a bigger hole in the air. But Billy Rolla able to hold his own here so far. Heading down now to Mountain Straight toward Griffin's Bend here in just a minute. And one thing, Stefan, I'll ask, in your experience with these Audis, how difficult is Griffin's Bend to get the braking point right, to really get that good launch off of it into the cutting?
It is quite hard because you have to slow down quite a bit and then slow down.
Speaking of which, Billy Rolla gets loose. I think Joni Hagner had a little bit of target fixation there too and took the high line through the cutting. All three of them are going to lose a little time here, but we're all able to get back on the gas. And Ningo actually toward the front here of the Nissans. Iamake now able to catch Fabian Gerber. We're going to have to go see if something happened to Fabian Gerber. And indeed, I do see a little bit of damage on his right front. Oh, coming down into the S's, into the Dipper. Yes. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this on GSRC replay here.
It starts down the S's and it drags along a little bit there. But you're entering Skyline down the S's. He gets a bit too much on the curb on the first one. And
we'll hit the rewind button on that again here real quick and get it for you. And needless to say, I think he contacted the concrete enough that there could be some suspension damage there. I think only time will tell. Okay, so I think we got it now.
Yeah, he was quite slow when hitting the wall there. You can see it here out of the dipper, just way too wide, and then he also had a bit of a moment out of fourth server. So yeah, having to give up the lead, and already about a second and a half between, oh sorry, a second between Fabian and Arthur.
Let's go back to the Audis. Rob Olenek has got a lot of pressure right now from Riley Thompson back there. Riley Thompson, of course, leading the point standings, but did miss last week in Twin Ring Motegi. He's back here trying to make up ground now in the point standings. It actually ends up having to get on the binders a little bit, going through Griffin's bend. Almost actually loses a spot to Milan Arnozzi.
Yeah, I was thinking there, watch out for Arnozzi, as he will probably try to stick his nose in, but then Riley Thompson with the mistake on the outside of Griffin's bend and nearly having to proceed near the position against Arnozzi. On the onboard, you can really see how hard these guys have to fight to get their wide car through the narrow sections here of this track. Is Inho John, I think you saw that a little bit in the background, nearly losing his car on Skyline. Obviously.
And while we were watching that, Tipani Linoto was able to get around Fabian Gerber. So move Fabian Gerber now back to third position.
Yeah, it does seem like that Fabian Gerber is really hard to look at from how far back Tipani comes to overtake him. And just no discussion there needed at all. Clears him well before the chase. Yeah, Fabian, he's really hurting. You are having a look at Tapani, who is being. Oh no, wait, we're on.
Yeah, Tapani, of course, getting the hammer down now. I mean, he's starting to separate himself out from Fabian Gerber. Now, we talk about the drag coefficient on these Nissans and how efficient they are with moving around the air, but that damage right now on Fabian Gerber's machine not helping that out at all. Let's go back over to the GTOs, and Milan Arnozzi now has Riley Thompson behind him.
Yeah, Riley Thompson, he did fall back a little bit there. It's hurting him because he now has.
And then, once again, Fabian Gerber's going to lose another position, this time to Timo Toika. It just doesn't seem like he's able to the top end of that car with that aero damage is not as good as the other guys right now, so he's bleeding spots. But looking at Joona Kashinen, he's got some front-end damage himself here, too, so we'll see if that's going to be kind of an equalizer with him and Fabian Gerber.
It's just a little bit of a scratch, so it's not gonna hurt him all that much. It's gonna hurt him a little bit, but he should easily be able to get past Fabian Gerber. He's already looked at how much he's gaining there on Fabian. Goes to the inside, down the mountain straight, and is already well clear of Fabian. So he is just incredibly hurting with his top speed.
Okay, so let's go up to Iamaki right now, who's getting it to the back of the Audi GTOs. Just got around, that was Michael Haynes. Some of these guys were involved in that lap 2 accident, so they do have some damage, including Jay Wan Yang here, who's having to try to get around. It's so hard to get around other cars coming here on top of the hill, and you can see the ground right there that Leonotto was able to gain on R2 Iamaki. That lead almost evaporated right there in just car traffic.
Yes, indeed, and made a quick stop there on the speed between Fabian Gerber and Timo Toika, and it was about 30 kilometers an hour between the two.
I love this camera. I love this camera. Dougie Beer does the best cameras. I call that the James Bond shot. always have to call that out.
Well, Andrea Maki, he is still holding on to the lead, but Tapani Linoloto, he really gained because of that GTO traffic that we saw. And there's also James King right behind them. So, sorry, Timo Toika, obviously. And yeah, it will be interesting to see how the GTO traffic will play out for these three.
And heading over to the Audis once again, P4 right now held down by Rob Olenek, Riley Thompson, Milan Arnozzi are hungry for it. Milan Arnozzi still hanging on to the draft of Riley Thompson. Oh, Riley Thompson just brushes the concrete a little bit. You keep seeing these cars, especially these wide body Audis, brushing the concrete through the tighter sections of the track, trying to get every inch of the track, and starting to see some banged up fenders for it, even though I don't think it's really affecting anything here just yet. But looking at Riley Thompson, able to suck up a little bit on Rob Olenek, not as much as he'd like though. I think actually Milan Arnozzi was the big winner down the Conrad straight.
Yeah, you can't really make the track worse on the brake, so it really doesn't matter all that much. But obviously with the double drive, Milan Arnozzi, he's gonna gain way more than Riley Thompson. He's really at his back right now. Once again, that's what we're
Let's go to second place here in the Nissans. Timo Toika looking at Tapani Linoto is ahead through the chase, coming out of the chase now, down toward Murray's Corner. And looked like for a second there that Toika was going to have a good run on Linoto, but kind of loses the momentum a little bit, but he's still right there. All it's going to take is one mistake from Tapani, and he'll lose second place.
Yes,
in fact, there it is. In fact, Tapani runs a slightly higher line there, going through Hell Corner, now down the mountain straight toward Griffin's Bend. Toika has a good run. Is he going to pull out and try to do something with it? No, he's going to back out of it. He's going to let Tapani have Griffin's Bend here, and then as they start heading toward the cut.
Yeah, you're really able to see how late the draft effect comes into play in those inter-Nissan battles, but if it would have been just a few meters earlier where the draft would have started to play a role, then Timo, he would have had the chance there to go into Griffin's Bend side by side, but like that, no go, no chance, and we are only just about 20 seconds now in difference between the top of the GTP field and the thick bottom of the middle pack of the GTOs. As we're once again back with the three-car fight here for P4. Riley Thompson, he is starting to close into Rob Olnichuk once again, and bringing Milan Arnozzi still with him as a cloud starts to slide over.
Hey, let's take a look here real quick. Go back in the field slightly in the GTOs, but they got a good battle going on. Sintez Galnado in 13th, Carlos Fonseca in 14th, Mark Slumneg in 15th. Oh, and Clayton McLeod starting to get in on this as well. We got a four-car battle now trying to shape up for 13th position in the Nissans. Spreading out down just a little bit here, going down the Conrad straight, but they were nose to tail going down a little ago. That is going to be the Audi of Guillermo Crevo that they are passing now. That's going to break that up just a little bit. Ooh, another Audi kind of breaking that up just a little bit. Didn't see who that was. Yeah, that definitely broke that pack up a little bit.
Javier Lago there, switching sides, under braking,
oh, contact! Mark Schlumberg and Clayton McLeod get into it. The Audi of Guillermo Crevo, got into Clayton McLeod even just a little bit, but them. At the end of the battle here, they won't. Looked like, thinking it just a little hotter. Mark braking just a little early, one or the other there, but led to racing incident contact. And I would say that Mark Schmidt got the worst end of that one, losing a lot of time on that pack. And that 4-car battle, well, no more.
Yeah, Schmieding braked there quite early, interestingly enough, and Clayton McLeod didn't anticipate it and clutched the back there of Mark, but both able to continue as we're once again back with the battle for P1.
Heading to the battle for the lead, Arto Iamaki now having to hold off to Pani Leonotto. We knew that this might get tight in lap traffic, and indeed it has. Oh, we got an Audi barrel rolling. Whoa! Scurry, and now, man.
Man, that was close.
Oh, I think. Oh, Timo needs to shorten.
That started here between Franco Scori and Adam Lindgren. Adam Lindgren turning a little bit right there, not quite looking where he was going, tipping Franco Scori and then shooting the gap.
And Franco Scori just got hit just right to just send him on a ride. We got a ride here with Timo. Yep. Okay, so it has caught up. He does have some damage from that. We'll have to see how that affects him.
Yeah, I do hope he just picked up that little bit of damage that he has on the broadcast, because for me he lost his whole nose. So that will be interesting how that will play out. But I think he still has enough top end speed and turning capability from having his nose like he has on the broadcast. So yeah, very lucky break there, Timo Tucker, because this could have been way different for him.
Yeah, but he's able to keep up right now with the front two. Arto Iamaki still having to hold off to Pani Leonotto as they're heading down the run straight toward the chase. Lap traffic now involved. It takes a peek, but decides not to do anything with it here right now. But they are heading up toward the chase, and they got Inu Gion right in front of them.
Trapani and Archer there for a split second side by side. We're now up to 7th place in GTO here for the traffic. And yeah, Archer and Trapani, they really start to battle now. They really start to get held up by this traffic. And yeah, it will be interesting to see if Trapani can make something happen here in the traffic, as Timo way wide there on Hell Corner.
And don't forget, Arto Iamaki won last week, but it was a dogfight for that race too. So he's no stranger to having to hold off for the lead and trying to do something with it. Now they're starting to come up on some of the faster Audis here as they're climbing up the hill. They've got Milan Arnozzi in front of them, Riley Thompson, Rob Olenek. We've talked about the battle those guys were having. Well, that's what these Nissans are starting to come up on. Distance really closes there.
This is right now a bit of a no-pass zone for the Nissan, so they have to stay behind, get a run here, set them up for Reed Park. Will he be able to do it? No, he will not. And so he has to wait for McPhillamy Park. There he goes now, around the inside. All three of them actually do. And now they once again have to wait until the exit of the Forest Elbow. Maybe they can do something out of the dipper, but I doubt it.
These guys, very patient. You need to have some patience here for sure, you know, for multi-class racing on the mountain, and giving Riley Thompson the room he needs, giving each other the room they need. And now, once they hit Conrad straight, they should be able to breeze right past Riley Thompson. I don't think they're going to have enough room to be able to catch up to Rob Olenek here, though. That's going to be the next Audi that they're going to catch up here to.
Yeah, the thing is, if this would be a flat surface, then they would be able to do something out of the dipper, but because it goes down so steep there, the Audi just has so much more traction with the Quattro as Timo Tucker goes into the button, and they are now able to clear Rob Olenek. Normally trust the Nissan here, decide to drive down first race. And Timo Toika getting a bit caught out there. Now he's able to pass Rob Olnichuk, and they're all 3 past the 5th place GTO driver.
So there's your head back over to the GTOs, in your top 3 over there. Billy Ruala, Joni Hager, and then Ove Trengereid, all within a second of each other here.
Will the Nissans catch up to these 3 guys when they're still on the mountain or after forced exit? Because this could have some implications on how these 3 Nissans are lead fighting right now.
Yeah, basically what we're saying is within a lap, we're going to have our top 3 of the Nissans, top 3 of the Audis all in one shot. I mean, we're not going to have to move the camera around at all for that. That's going to happen here. Just a matter of when, and starting to see them show up now behind Ove Trengereid. They're going to have to wait to Forest Elbow here coming down the mountain.
Yeah, and the question has already been answered. As you can see, the top 3 of each classes are now right behind each other, and the Nissans just have no way in passing. Now they can once again on the power. Oh, bit of a hit there for It's not a question, because that was quite a hard hit on my screen.
At least they're going to get Ove here. I don't know if they're going to get Joni Hager, but look at that. Tapani Lindonoto trying to take advantage of it here, but it's going to put him on the outside of the end of the chase here.
Both classes, they're side by side into the
little bit of contact.
Joni Hager is now your leader in the GTO. Arto Yamaki is still first, but can Tapani Lindonoto do something here? No, he can't, but the GTO lead is once again side by side there. And Villarola takes away first place once again. So everything stays the same in both classes.
Oh, that got exciting there for a little bit. And look at that. You'll have Joni Hager already trying to come back on Billy Rolala here going down the mountain straightaway, but doesn't get a good run off Hell's Corner. In fact, Ove Trengereid here is thinking he might be able to do something with him. Can't quite get there, though. And, of course, those Nissans. But Tapani Lindonoto, let's go back up to the GTOs. He takes a peek into the inside there of Griffin's Bend, but backs out of it and once again loses a little bit of time. And now he's going to have to hold off Timo Toika back there. Lots happening here. Ooh, Lindonoto back in, tries to break loose on that Audi, and once he got back on the gas, but he's able to keep it going in a straight line. So, no harm, no foul there.
As now through the top 3 of your GTO. Oh, Villarola hit the wall there. Up the hill. Can't stay in front of Joni Hager, but they're now getting passed by Jone Kaisen and the 4th place GDP. Where is Villarola going? They're going way wide.
Way off. Oh, he's trying to save it. Damn it. Oh, I don't think he has a lot of damage, but that is a dangerous spot to try to get back up and go back in a straight line. Looking at it here, and you see the move that was made by Frederick. I don't think he was expecting it. Caught him off guard and went into the grass. Just could not keep it going. And indeed, he has taken the toe as opposed to trying to get that thing straightened out.
I think he had ever so slight damage from that wall hit up the hill, and yeah, couldn't recover it. As we were able to see, and he decided to, instead of trying to spin his car around, better take the DNF here and not wreck someone else's race.
Back up to that GTO battle up toward the front. While that was happening, Toika able to get around Tapani Lindonoto. So move Toika up into 2nd position. They got some Audis here. Ooh, changing lanes going in the braking zone there, including a very slow Audi. That's Jay Wan Yang. Oh, and Tapani almost loses it. Thought he was thinking, maybe he was thinking Yang was going to come down. Ended up not. But Timo Toika is just running away now that Tapani is caught.
Yes, Tapani is now stuck on the 2 GTOs that he took the safe variant and locked his car up there to not run into someone. But he is now majorly being held up by those 2 GTOs, still being stuck. Now he goes past at McPhil Mid Park, but Oh, Auto-Yamaki got held up by Javier Lago, and now Toyga is right behind Auto-Yamaki.
So Toyga going from third, trying to look for the lead here. Coming out of Forest Elbow down the Conrad Straight. Not a lot of time. So look at my James Bond camera again. Only 4/10 of a second, now 2/10 of a second. Heading up to the chase. Is he going to be able to get a run on him here into the chase? I think he's going to decide that discretion's better part of valor. Although he's trying to sneak on the outside. Not able to do anything with it. Gap stays about the same. He's going to have another chance here coming through Murray's corner if he's able to get a good run off. I don't think that was a great run off, though. Made him down to the main pit straight.
One thing though, can we get a shot of the nose of Timo Toyka real quick once again? Because I think that he is now once again damage free on his nose. Yes, there you can see it, no damage, very clean there, so I think iRacing registered it as a netcode, and Timo Toyka very lucky without any damage from his car from that hit with Franco Scori.
Trying to see if there was an incident here just a minute ago. Nothing of significance. Okay, so I'm riding on board now with Timo Toyka, having himself a great race here today.
I'm sorry, there was a big crash actually right in front of McPhilmy Park. There was a really slow Audi on the outside crashing out 2 GTs, and Riley Thompson is out of this race.
Riley Thompson, he was a big player today in those Audis. Seen him, I see him sitting on pit road now with a lot of damage on that car, trying to find out what happened here.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't get it, but just to describe a little bit what happened. It looked like there was a car sitting in the middle of the track, and he got into it. Riley Thompson went upside down, and his day is done.
Yes, that was a big upset for the GTO class here, because remember, Riley Thompson is your GTO class standings leader.
Oh, and speaking of that, Dennis Neidhart and Mark Schmidt just got into it there, going into. Oh, I didn't see Clayton McLeod there. There he is, just slid onto my screen. I'm watching it. It looked like Mark just barely touched the concrete, threw him up into Dennis Neidhart. Clayton McLeod spins to avoid it, but Mark had lots of damage on that Nissan. Wild ride.
Yeah, Dennis Neidhart wasn't involved in that, but Clayton McLeod, he locked up his brakes, spun around, and yeah, it was a big there fall all 3 cars.
Alright, so the leaders, the Nissan leaders now catching back up to that slow Audi that's been out there, Jae-Won Yang, and this time they're able to get around him cleanly, not lose a lot of time. Timo Toyka still right under the back wing of Auto-Yamaki, is now the cresting top of the hill, going through Skyline, excuse me, not the Skyline, Quarry Corner, and eventually over to Frog Hollow here.
Yes, Reed Park, now McPhilmy Park, down Skyline, now into yes as we go. Very punishing for these cars if they take too much curves here. Down into the dipper they go. And yeah, they're ever so slightly catching up too.
And now we're going back over to the Audis. Yoni Hagner having to hold off Ove Trengereed. Battles continue for first and second, both Nissan and the Audis right now.
Yes, Ove Trengereed, he is really trying to make something work here against Yoni Hagner over the mountain. They're coming up to Javier Lago to the lap. That Audi is just going into the dipper right now, so only a few seconds between those 3 cars. But Ove Trengereed really strong here into the dipper. Closed in a lot of...
They're right on board here with Ove. Gonna get a bird's eye view of what's going on here right over top of the hood. Especially now we head down the Conrad Straight. See if we can use that draft heading toward the chase. Chase may be one of my favorite corners in all the world just because of how fast you got to approach it, how dead on you got to be with the perfect line. These guys have to work hard at it. Ove Trangereed this time, discretion better part of valor, backs off a little bit before they head to turns 21 and 22 here, and now heading down toward first corner.
Yeah, the chase was built there to, as we have Javier off the track there, interestingly enough. Oh no, sorry, his teammate there. But the chase was built to slow down the cars because they were hitting 298 kilometers an hour going into Murray's corner. But the year they built the chase, people were hitting once again speeds of up to 300 kilometers an hour in the V8 supercars. So slowing down the cars did not really work when they brought in the chase, but it opened up for one of the fastest corners in motorsports, and who doesn't love the chase?
Right. And going back to Nicholas Makanos here, you're looking at P5. Inho Gian, it looks like he's got a good run on him here. Gian moves over to defend the line.
He can get a run here out of Griffin's event. No, not really. Instead of them, that is a lap GTO, certainly not of any concern to these guys as of yet. But, you know, he really looks strong here.
We don't need to go to it, but I just want to point out that the gap between RT Yamaki and Timo Toika continues to kind of fluctuate between about 0.2 seconds. Nothing really going on right there, so we'll stay right here on this battle within Hujiana. Actually, okay, here now it just got close. Yeah, okay, it just got close to the live timing and scoring. There it is. As I say that, Tapani Leonotto.
Oh, deep for Toika there. Tapani might come back.
Sorry, R2 and, yeah, Timu. Oh, man.
But Timo Toika able to hold the lead, and yeah, he's now your new leader in the GTP class here over Artu Iamaki.
Right when I thought maybe it calmed down for a minute. Man, they got excited quick. In fact, let's go back over that battle we were watching just a minute ago. Inhu Gian. Now, Nicholas Buchanan almost had a good run on. In fact, he's going to try to take the high side here. Cannot get it to work the long way around.
But he had a little bit of a run until he went onto the grass there, through the chances. There's are still standing outside of the turn. Bit of a dangerous spot there to have your car standing there. Right behind him, that's Ater Sintes Galindo, who tries to make a move there on both cars in one turn. Now 3 wide to go, and he has to stay back behind the 2 GTOs. Now, if Makanos is clever here, he's gonna, as the Nissan actually stalls out, he's gonna slip in behind the Nissan, and he has to brake early here to let him by Ater. Very damaged Nissan nearly gets there into Nicholas Makanos, costing a lot of time.
Yeah, Makanos is definitely wishing that Nissan wasn't there right now. This is one of his stronger parts of the track. I hate to... and I was just going to say I hate to leave this, and then Ove Trangereed tags the wall coming out of the dipper. I don't think there was any damage. I think this might be one of those ones that kind of maybe looked a little worse on my end than what it was, but in the process he did lose a lot of time to Joni Hagner, and he was on it. See here coming down? And I think it was just before it. Okay, so Joni Hagner gains a little bit of time with Ove Trangereed's slight mistake, but with the draft on the Conrad straight, Ove Trangereed almost right back there. This is 1-2 right now in the Audis.
And we can report that Timo Toika, he is starting to get a little bit away from Artu Iamaki at the line. It was one... Oh, Toika! Robert Plumley there with a bit of a showcase of his drifting skills right in front of the leader of Timo Toika. There we go, onto the replay now. as Timo Tolka has to fight here a bit with the GTOs who are side by side.
Riding now on board here with Timo Tolka. Finish driver. Woohoo! There's been a lot that's happened around Timo here today.
Now, because of that, the gap did shrink ever so slightly of what he already had over the mountain. 1.2 seconds or 1.3 seconds over the line.
Going up here. Once again, the Audi's still fighting for that lead.
As Overtrangerate still sits in behind. But I'm starting to feel like Overtrangerate can go faster over the mountain. It's just he can't really get past here because look at that run. Joni Hagner gets Overtrangerate out of force elbow. And yeah, Overtrangerate just not able to get anything happening here into the chase.
40 minutes at Bathurst has just flown by. You're getting the white flag for the Nissans here in just a few minutes.
Speaking of the leaders, Timo Tolka is once again in the traps of Arttu Iämäki.
And that gap there a little bit ago was well over a second. So Arttu is really got a good run here over the last lap.
Yeah, we've got 2 more laps here at the line, so we're going into the penultimate lap here for the GTPs as the GTO pulls into the pit there in front of Timo Tolka, so no traffic for about the length of the start-finish straight. Next up, the 2 cars that you might be able to see there on the top of your screen. That's Ion Jön and Nicholas Mukanos, the 2 guys fighting for P5 GTO. But Timo Tolka and Arttu Iämäki, they're really steaming towards those 2. Obviously, last time we visited these 2, Nicholas Mukanos was behind, so he found a way past Jean somewhere in those last 2 laps. Sure, Direct, let's go ahead and have the replay set up there for the pass between the 2, as Timo Tolka already takes the first one of the 2 into McPhillamy Park. But here's the replay. Nicholas Mukanos versus Inho Jön. Seems like a little bit of a mistake there from Jön, braking too late.
Yeah, Overtrangerate has a really good look on the inside of Joni Hagner. Cannot do anything with it now. Back to live. Man, that was almost able to make that move. Not quite there though.
In front of them, that's the lapped car of Franco Scurri, who we saw spearing in between Timo Tolka and Tapani Iloneluoto just earlier on. Speaking of Timo Tolka, he is coming around into Murr's corner now, getting that white flag of his. And because of the 2 GTOs, Inhon Jön and Nicholas Mukanos, Arttu Iämäki is now 2 seconds behind Timo Tolka on the line.
Yeah, and all Timo has to do is just finish this lap here mistake-free, and he'll be bringing home the win at Bathurst today. Overtrangerate, here's the problem with Overtrangerate.
Yeah, really hard hit into turn 4 on the outside wall. Right, he really hates that right side of the car.
Yeah, now he's really pushing hard now. Can't do anything with it though. Many a car have met that concrete barrier in the past.
Alright, seems like we had a bit of a problem there with the replay but doesn't matter because he's still going and he seems to have no damage sustained from that hit somehow as Timo Tucker gets held up by Milan Anoshi.
Yeah, I think Ove Trangereid's big problem there was just the time lost. If he's not going to be, I don't know if he'll be able to do anything with it. Going back up to the Nissans here.
Well, he has one more lap to try to find a way around Joni Hagner, but we're already here with our leader who is out of force elbow as we speak. Adrian Mackie, he really got held up by Milan Anoshi. Gap is now somewhere around the 4-second mark. So yeah, Timo Tucker, he is your leader as long as he doesn't screw up in the chase.
Yep, last time through the chase here in that Bushvink racing machine, Timo Tucker should be able to get clean here coming down to Murray's Corner. Braking zone, onto the main straightaway. Start-finish line comes up really fast from this point on. Bathurst today is going to go to Timo Tucker. Big win for him here today. R2 Iamake gets it for second. And going back to P3, Joan Kalajan and then Tapani Leonotto.
Yeah,
that was a tight battle there. Joe was able to do something with him here and get the pass on the last lap to take third.
Yes, into the chase. Great draft battle there. And yeah, they were side by side through the chase. Just incredible pass there from Joni Kaitinen. But we're now here with Joni Hagner, who is still trying to defend away from Ove Trangereid.
Yeah, this another similar scenario. All Joni Hagner has to do at this point here is just finish mistake-free, but Ove Trangereid is a little bit closer too than what that battle was for the Nissans. And all it's going to take is one slight mistake, and Ove Trangereid is going to be right there. We also can't discount the draft going down the Conrad Straight, which these guys still have to go through. But right now, heading into the Dipper. Eventually, we're going to hit Forest Elbow here.
Yes,
and Forest Elbow is going to be so key about getting back on the power for Joni Hagner. Look at Ove Trangereid trying to get every little bit of track that he could. Brushes that concrete barrier, and I think that slowed him down just enough that could cost him from not being able to make a move here going down to the chase.
Well, he is coming ever so slightly, but it might not be enough for Ove Trangereid. Will he try to launch? Yes, he does. Side by side
in there.
Chase.
Contact! Ove Trangereid is going to go around. Joni Hagner trying to keep it straight. He is. Joni Hagner is going to get through Murray's Corner here onto the pit straightaway. And that win is going to go to Joni Hagner. Going to pull that up on the GSRC replay. And Ove Trangereid doing what he felt like he needed to do to try to win this race. Dived it in there, and they almost were able to make it work. With slight contact here. See, just a moment. Gets the draft. Takes the dive going down into the chase. Just great run going into the chase. And just the slightest of contact is what's going to send Ove Trangereid around. Now, he was able to retain second. Rob Olenek was not able to get to him before he was able to get the car back going straight. So that 1-2 finish, Joni Hagner and Ove Trangereid for your Audis.
Yeah, you really can't fault Ove Trangereid there for trying to make the move on the last real corner where he can do it. But Joni Hagner is your winner with that.
Yep, pretty much. So we'll be back here in just a few minutes. We'll take a look at those final results, talk to a few of the drivers. We'll be right back here at Mount Panorama. mean, what a great race here at Mount Panorama. I mean, racing all over the track, all race long. Battles for the lead of both the Nissans and the Audis. You really couldn't ask for a better day here on this tight race course. Let's go ahead and take a look at those final results here. We'll go through them 10 at a time. And looking at your top 10, these are all Nissans. Team Toyka coming away with the big win. Arto Iamaki in second. Yona Kajinin in third. Fourth place, Tipani Leonotto. Fabian Gerber in fifth position. Sixth positions, Fabian Youngluth. Seventh goes to John Keefe. Eighth, Lucas Krutz. In ninth position, Martin Krejcik. In 10th position here today is James King.
James King also the last car on the lead lap. Robert Plumley, who we saw with his stunt driving in front of Timo Toyka, finishes in 11th place. Aitor Sintes Galindo in 12th position in class. And then Joni Hagner, he's already the first car there in 13th overall. He is your finisher, your top finisher in the GTO class. Overturn grade in second place. Rob Olnichuk is third. Milan Arnosi is fourth. Nicolas Mucanos with a lucky fifth place there over Inho Yun, Reed Miller, and Georgi Busemi.
And then looking at the 21st position, Adam Lindgren, Hideki Koivisto in 22nd. And a lot of these guys are guys that were getting this deep in the fields where attrition really started to take a toll here for today. Stephen Warkup, 23rd. Javier Lago, 24th. Dennis Neidhart, 25th. Clayton McLeod, saw what happened to him. 26th position. 27th go to Bronislav Robanek. Mark Shovedeg, we saw him end up on his roof in his Nissan. Carlos, 2nd, 29th. Guillermo Crevo in 30th position here today.
And Cravo already is the last car to finish this race. Riley Thompson in 31st, Ben Lofter 32nd again, Won Yang, who we saw staying there on the outside of Merce Corner in 33rd, Frank Escori 34th, Billy Roller 35th, Michael Haynes 36th, Phil Barnes in 37th, Kevin Binkley 38th, Bryce Roberts in 39th, Sergei Serbin in 40th and 41st, and last, Jose Wilcox 21 whopping laps behind.
Yeah, Jose obviously had a little bit of problem right there, right on the opening 2 laps of this race. But hey, we've got a guy that we really wanted to talk to here for today, Joni Hagner. Joni, great race in the Audis. I mean, you were in the mix of it all race long. And what was it like having to hold off Ove Trengeri there at the end? I mean, we all know he was doing what he needed to do to win the race, but man, that was a tight battle.
Yeah, on the last lap, I watched at my mirror and said to myself, he's too far to do it. And yeah, I did a bit similar thing to Ville, and I was a bit closer, and it didn't end well. So I know that it will not work, so I just keep my line and hope that I don't go to moon.
Yeah, and we saw that a couple of times in this race where if the Audis were contacted just right, send them on a ride. Thankfully, that didn't happen to you guys. Just a little bit of door-to-door contact there. And not able to get away with it, though, for Ove, although he still finished in second. But overall, I mean, what was the race like for you? Like, I want to know what it was like from the Audi perspective here today of having the Nissans in a multi-class situation on Mount Panorama.
Well, the multi-class aspect was actually really good, and the Audis were quite aggressive in the right places, but nothing bad about the multi-class situation. I was driving in the first stint, first couple laps. I missed a few gears, and Ville got away a bit, so I needed to push a bit to get him. And then I just ride it on the draft a couple laps and tried to make a, well, overtake if there was an opening.
Well, and then next week we're heading over to Virginia International Raceway, VIR, and that obviously another tight track, but a little bit more flowing than what Mount Panorama is, not as long as straights. You think you'll be able to hold your own over there?
Well, I have no time next week because I'm going to race the real car.
Hey, there you go. Hey, real racing, Trump sim racing. I don't blame you there. Hey, Yachty, good talking with you, sir, and we'll see you the next time we see you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was your Audi winner here today, Joni Hagner. And then next up, we've got Teemu Toika with Stefan.
Yes, the GTP leader, or winner, sorry, Teemu Toika. A bit of an interesting moment there for you. How scary, on a scale from 1 to 500, how scary was it?
At least 46. Yeah, I had a crew chief on TeamSpeak, and he said that my car was absolutely destroyed, but somehow I was able to keep going and found out that I actually didn't get any damage from that contact. So
Yeah, we had some mixed reports here. I saw you without any nose on the stream. You were with a little bit of damage to your front end, and suddenly it popped all away. But very lucky break, as you said there. The start of the race, you quickly managed to get your way from 5th to 3rd, and then obviously the fighting and getting away with the win here. How hard was it to keep that car all together through those 40 minutes here?
very hard. I wasn't pushing. I don't think at any point more than 90%. I think the most I pushed was when I was trying to catch up to Arto, and yeah, the other times I was just trying to keep it out of the walls, knowing from my practice that they can strike at any moment, and yeah, it was really tough with the Audis, especially at the mountain when you can't pass them almost at any point, and you just have to keep calm and collected.
Keeping calm and keeping out of the wall, you did. Now, looking forward to VIR Grand East, where we're going next week. How are you thinking it will play out in the Nissan there for you?
I haven't driven Grand East that much, so I'll have to maybe do a bit more practice than the other tracks this season. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what kind of challenges the alternate layout can.
Well, we shall find out next week, same time, 5 p.m. at GNT here at iRacing Esports Network. But yeah, that was Teemu Toika, your winner of the GTP class here at Mount Panorama Circuit. Meanwhile, Adam Young has caught up with Adam Lindgren.
Yeah, we have a little bit of the Adam show here for to close out here for today. Hey, Adam, not exactly the day you were hoping for in the Audis, but still was able to pull out a top 10, coming up 3 spots from where you started. Tell us a little bit about your day.
Yeah, today was all about survival. I knew that as soon as I finished qualifying with my qualifying position, I knew that I'd be back in the pack and back in the mess. So my goal was just to try and keep the car clean. And while I did not pull that off, I managed to keep it going straight and finish ahead of my championship rival in the GTUs, Hideki Koivisto. So I'm pretty happy about that.
And there you go. I mean, of course, that was a very tight battle coming in. I mean, you were only 7 spots behind him, so we'll have to see how everything shakes out there. I mean, you probably won't retake the points lead, but hey, it puts you in a good spot going into VIR here next week. Are you excited about that race? Do you think it would do okay there at Virginia?
A little bit apprehensive just because of the short nature of the track. It's a little similar to Indy Bike in the sense of how tight and how much first gear there's going to be. So it's going to be a little stressful, but I am looking forward to the race, definitely.
All right. Well, hey, Adam, thanks for joining us, and we will see you hopefully next week.
Thank you.
All right, that was Adam Lindgren. And going on here for today, I mean, another fantastic Kamel GT Series race. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here for this afternoon. And then want to obviously thank the companies that provide the hardware and software that you see on the broadcast on the iRacing Esports Network when we are doing it here for GSRC. Kamel, and of course, we also want to thank the Kamel GT community. Additional thanks to Eric Ekholm and June Lalonde, who provide our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of their great work. Thanks to the team today, Sean, Stefana, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can check out our social media on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at /Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC Graham. Don't forget to head on over to our YouTube page as well. Hit the big red subscribe button, and don't miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. As we've been talking about, next race, Virginia International Raceway, that's coming up in 1 week. That's 1 p.m. Eastern Time for those of us here in the States, 5 p.m. GMT. We also have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out. Mark them down on your calendar. Until next time, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.